So you're on X trying to get recruited to play college football, and you know it's the platform to be on, but you're still trying to figure out, how do I actually make this work? What do I actually post on there to get coaches' attention? I see other recruits post, I'm kind of copying some of that stuff, but what should I actually be doing? Are they doing the right stuff? How can I get so many views? How can I get coaches' attention? So today I'm gonna dive into a couple of different post types, a couple of do's and don'ts, so that way you know exactly how to crush it on X. If you don't know who I am, I'm Trent Laura. I'm a former college quarterback. I've helped over 200 families get college football scholarships over the past just 2 years. And we've also helped these families get over $20 million in scholarship money. So the first thing I want to talk about is post types. What do you actually post when it comes to X? Now, I usually break it up into 2 different types of posts. The first type of post is what I call a proof post. Now, I usually break these up into 2 different types. The first type is proof, the second type is updates. Now, proof is exactly that. It's proving that you are someone that coaches want to invest into, because you have to think about it that way. You have to think about that college coaches are literally investing tens of thousands, if not sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars into you with a scholarship. And so the posts that you're putting out on social media need to be proof on why they should take you over everyone else. Now, the most common proof posts that you probably see are scholarship offers, proof that other coaches are investing into you, which means that this coach that is now looking at this post should invest in you as well. The second most obvious is your highlights. It's showing that you can play at a high level in game situations. But there's a lot of other proof posts that allow you to still get the same returns that maybe a highlight or a scholarship offer would as well. So different types of proof posts outside of just highlights and scholarship offers is workout clips, showing that you're working out, showing that you can do a big max lift, showing that you can run a 4.5. Another big proof thing is showing proof of character, showing that you go doing community service stuff, showing proof of your grades with your transcript. Anything that can prove something that a college coach wants to see is a great proof post. And there's no such thing as too little proof. I mean, the more proof you have, the more it just becomes clear to a college coach. You want your Twitter profile to be this ever-going form of proof of your recruiting resume so that coaches can clearly see the kind of player that you are. And it doesn't take a guess, or it never becomes a second guess in their mind. It just becomes clear that, hey, this is the kind of guy that we're looking for exactly. Let's follow him, let's message him, let's start recruiting him, and potentially even offer him as soon as now. Now, these proof posts, you want to be posting as much as possible. The big thing is that you need the video to do so, so make sure you're collecting that video as much as possible. Again, nothing is too small, so you should always be looking for those opportunities so that way you can make the most of them, put them out there on X, and make sure your profile has that proof for coaches to notice. Now, the second type of post that I mentioned was updates. Now, updates are really just that. And they can be mixed with proof in some ways. And a lot of times, to be fair, updates are just proof in a different form. Some good examples of updates are visits, camps, showing that you have recruiting updates, showing that you have recruiting activity. It's just keeping coaches up to date on what you're doing. Could even be a new sport, which also is a form of proof that you're an athlete, that you can play other sports. It's just a much easier way to think about things, that you're updating coaches on how you're progressing as an athlete, how you're progressing in the classroom, how you're progressing in your recruiting. And really what these update posts do is just give coaches a more clear timeline on what's going on in your recruiting. I think the big red flag that a lot of recruits show when they don't have enough posts is like, are other schools recruiting you? And because if other schools are recruiting you, that's a big red flag to coaches. It's like, why are coaches not recruiting you if you have good film? And so you want to make sure that you're posting different things to make sure that that red flag doesn't appear. You should have clear activity going on. You want that bandwagon effect working for you, for this coach to see you getting recruited by other schools and be like, oh shoot, we need to be recruiting this guy as well. Now, I already talked about a couple examples of this. For example, a great one is, let's say you just went to a visit. You could take a picture with a coach, post that, say, hey, thanks for the visit, tag the coaching staff, tag the school, and post those pictures of you at that visit. That'd be a great example of a clear update post that shows you have recruiting activity, you have recruiting interest from the school, and allows schools to know, hey, I'm not just getting recruited by you. An even simpler example of that is an invite to a junior day, an invite to a camp. Now, again, a lot of people are controversial about, hey, should I post this, shouldn't I not? A lot of times they're not necessarily a super bad Twitter post. There are some bad Twitter posts, and we'll talk about those later. But posting a camp invite is not going to cause someone to go, oh, we shouldn't recruit this guy. But it can allow you to get more attention. A great example of this is we have a quarterback in class 2026. His name's Garrett. He's crushing it. He's doing great right now. But back in his junior year, he was getting a ton of camp invites. And he would get these camp invites from usually lower level staff members. You can think of recruiting interns, graduate assistants, the usual guys that are kind of funneling guys to the top coaches to get properly evaluated. And while Garrett was getting these invites, he was posting them, and then he was tagging the schools, and he was also tagging pretty much everybody on that coaching staff. Now, what this does is this then notifies those coaches to go, hey, somebody posted this post with a tag of you in it. Not only that, but it's not a random one. It literally has your school and information about your school. So what do you think that coach does? Looks at the guy's profile, learns more about them, maybe even watches their film, and a lot of times would end up following this kid and give them more attention just because they post that invite, even though they had no communication to them prior. In one example of this, it allowed him to get a follow from the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech, just from tagging him in the post of an invite where he got it from a graduate assistant. That's a big opportunity that a lot of families miss out on just because they're too scared to post that camp invite or tag the coaches because they think it's gonna be annoying. When a lot of times, what they're gonna do is either they'll ignore it or they'll go do something like follow you or message you from it. And when the risk is so low and the upside is so high, why would you not take advantage of it? It's an easy thing to do, takes you 2 minutes max, and you could get a big time follow or a big time message from a college coach that you've been waiting to hear from. Now that you understand the 2 types of posts, kind of how to do them, examples of them, let's go into what not to do. My favorite example of a post not to do is what I call pity posts. You'll usually see them. They love to come around closer to signing day. Usually after somebody's season's wrapped up, they have had a really good season. They don't have the offers that they want. They don't have the interest that they want. And they like to do what I call a pity post. So the most common pity post is like, I have 0 offers, but I'm really good, something along those lines. There was a very popular one, 0 offers, 0 interest, or whatever the case might be. Basically saying like, woe is me, I'm so good, but yet I have 0 interest, 0 offers. This is not what you want to do, because a lot of times these kids, like for example, one kid said that, and he actually had 4 offers. And it's like, cool, you just basically said, go screw yourself. I don't really care about your offers, not real offers, even though like one of them was a D1 school, others were like D2, D3 schools, pretty good programs to be fair. I think some of them were NESCAC schools, which was a very competitive, high academic D3 conference. I don't know if he still has those offers. If I had to guess, he probably doesn't, because that would be embarrassing to the staff to still take him on after he does that. So the last thing you want to do is like mock coaches or make fun of them, even though you may get attention because of that, because this kid ended up getting like 500,000 views and he ended up taking it on the post because so many people were like, dude, that's not a good thing to say. So just because you get attention does not mean it's the kind of thing that you're looking for. So obviously avoid that. Others don't. It's like the obvious ones, don't post like cussing, don't post like parties, all that kind of stuff. Like definitely should stay out of that. Definitely like, you can post funny stuff. You can post motivational stuff. You can post like non-recruiting related stuff. That's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure you're, again, like it should come back to, hey, is this the kind of post that a coach would be okay with seeing, would be wanting to see? All those kinds of things play a factor. And you just want to keep that frame of mind, that framework in your head. One of my favorite ones is that you want to post stuff that makes coaches say, wow, that makes them impressed. Because if you can cultivate that kind of wow mentality in your posts, that's only going to lead to this coach to be more impressed by you and to ultimately want to follow you, want to message you, to want to take that next action. Because that's all we're trying to do with that profile, is to trying to make you look so good so that way this coach is excited about to take that next action with you, to have you in the recruiting process, to have you on their team. Again, it just becomes such an easy decision for them at the end of the day. That's what I'm sharing with you on post today. Really short one. Don't really want to go into too much depth and give you a ton of sauce. We had one 2028 recently get 190,000 views on a single Twitter post. So these posts can do extremely well for you. I gave you a little bit of sauce. If you're looking for more insights, if you're looking to work with us one-on-one, get the actual like scripts, the actual captions, we'll write them for you. Learn exactly how to crack this whole recruiting game, crack the Twitter algorithm. We've done it a good amount of times. We've been able to generate millions of views. I believe we probably surpassed the 10 million mark, if anything, in terms of impressions by these recruits. It's a blast when you actually have a post that pops off. So if you're looking for that, what you can do is click the link below. You can book in a call with their team. We'll walk you through like what we do, how we do it, as well as see if we're even a fit. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click down below, book a call with our team and go from there. We also have a free scholarship playbook below as well. Walks you through the 7 stages of recruiting, where you're at right now to where you want to get in terms of getting a scholarship. You can check that as well. So hopefully you enjoy this. See you in the next one. Peace.